We were on TikTok just a couple minutes, no, about 10 minutes ago, talking about wellness mindset, wayshower life. Yes. And as a 5D mystic spiritual mentor, content creator, and podcast host, I have news for you. There's a lot of information that I got to learn about on ChatGPT as I asked questions, and the WhatsApp AI of how many individuals are not yet fully empowered, and then again, how many instead are getting there. So we're going to talk about that with the spiritual aspect in the forefront. So please, yes, woo-woo, pseudoscience for the actual people who know science and spirituality. They marry each other. That's what we also got to talk about today. So I'm going to be looking a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit everywhere, because I'm building a community, but also because thankfully for YouTube, I know that it will be able to be viewed, the live. And so as it's being recorded, I'm just going to get all comfortable, just so you know, and I might actually get up and move. And so you can leave your comments and to this and that. So empowerment. When I looked at the questions that ChatGPT gave me, very fascinating again. And as I got more and more thorough, I'm like, wow, we have insecure people, meaning adaptive child part people who use a body in protection, not connection, which is why they will use certain types of words, because that's where the words you choose to use, I use words wrong sometimes, but they share with me the level of feelings that you have with that which is going on outside. I do come though with God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit. So as a person of faith, I know that I have a good end of the stick. That's exactly why, as a 5D mystic, spiritual, enlightenment, soul age group, empowered feminine, when I got told by some people, but you know, we're anointed and we're more special and kind of like we feel more. I'm like, wait, are you trying to say that we got the short end of the stick? Because you do realize that we didn't, right? Like we have a relationship with Source, Akash, God, infinity, beyond. Like we're badass because we know love, like the back of our hands. No, but you know what I mean. So when people think that being of spirit means that you have to suffer, they've got this story in their head. But they also have stories of Lucifer and monsters and mediocrity, ignorance, and also evil stories are not something that we are, no. Please stop. Intelligent people know all about attachment and trauma, and that's why it's not funny. Stop dehumanizing our brothers and sisters. I mean, yeah, they can be not annoying, but people who don't know how to handle differences, excuse me, it confuses science, spirituality. You all know the story, the ones of you who are going to watch the live after it's live. I told the story to a lovely TikTok viewer who I and her interacted. It's like, wow, you have fun with it? I was like, yeah, there's a way to have fun with people who are ignorant. It's called, I've been doing it since I was a teenager, because honestly, hi May, the Queen XX and Praveen. Hi, you guys. Hi. So yeah, since I was a teenager, I noticed ego, and I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so afraid. No, I'm 19. I'm like, hey God, so listen, I met a bunch of cowards. They all lied to me. I'm 4'9". Apparently the entire school bus wanted to beat me up. Had your dinner? Not yet. Nope. Later I will. Hi, epic face. I will, in fact, have to go at some point. The light might dim down. It is 7:30 here. So hi, Caleb. Hi. We're talking about wellness mindset, and I'm a 5D mystic. You can call me woo-woo and pseudoscience, because that's exactly what I am, but I know the data, which is I'm good. I'm actually having a good time. I had a nice interaction on native what? Native. Praveen, expand on the native part. I'm native. What? So let me get to the topic too, though, otherwise I'll be distracted. Empowerment. I asked ChatGPT and a bunch of other, no, that's not true. ChatGPT, that's great, epic face, and my WhatsApp AI, a couple of questions. And when I went to ask about empowerment, I said, you know what? There's not empowered people answering or formulating these questions. So I need to make sure that social media and the digital sphere, I don't know that place. Tamil Nadu. That sounds very beautiful, though. Maybe I should come visit. I'm right now in Naples, Italy. Have you ever been to Naples, Italy? Which reminds me, any of you who might be in the area at the end of September, so I'm a mindfulness, mindset, mentor, content creator, podcast host. I love the hearts. I love the 100s. I love the smiles. I love all of it. And hopefully we'll have a good community of people as we interact. By the way, I'm an online marketer, so I also know how to handle that, which is still going to be allowed to be, and I'm 45, Praveen, and you know what? There's plenty of men that have said, you don't ask a woman how old they are, and I'm like, why? Who's counting? Who has issues with aging? I'm getting decrepit by the minute. That's how it works. I'm a mystic, remember? So when it's mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, just so you all know, we're not like, oh my God, I'm so upset that, you know, I'm going to get old. And I mean, I don't want to go. I like living, but God said I'm good. I asked him. No, he actually chimes in. Akash Source does too. In my hypnotherapy sessions, I've done it a couple times where I'm like, and I have panic attacks. So every time I've had a panic attack, I've thought I'm going to die. So I have practiced being afraid of death. And people make fun of me. And I say, you don't understand. I like to live. That's why I don't want to die. I'm not worried about it. I just enjoy life with people. Like even this, you're sharing time with me. I appreciate time with you. Epic Face, Praveen, and all of those who will hang out and be here. So empowerment, the question I looked at on TikTok. Hi, Francisco Formichetti. Do I know you? I'm in Italy. Do you speak English? I don't know the last name. If I know you, apologies. I have a very bad memory, but I'm sure you'll let me know. I am bad at my memory. Okay, so authentic empowerment looks like this. It means that you can be my native place. My native place is US of A, but I'm bicultural. Thank you, Francisco. I won't worry. And if I do know you, I'm sure you'll be able to make fun of me when we see each other. So I'm American Italian. And hi, Sophia. And hi, Insta ID. Sipala King. It makes me think of, what's his name? That author, Stephen King. Yes, but I'm sure that's not who it is. SPL Die King, Day King. Anyways, so self-mastered, intelligent minds. We know who conspiracies, mediocrity, and evil stories are for, like Lucifer and demons and all of it. I'm a mystic again. I'm trying to share the good news. All of our brothers and sisters on this planet and beyond. I also have contact with galactic beings. Please don't laugh and don't worry. Yes, exactly. I will be happy. Thank you, Bean. So I have seen things, they're not scary. My 5D body type, which is simply put, a securely attached, non-traumatized, in the ventral vagal state. I'm using a lot of attachment trauma education. You don't have to know all of it, but I will try to make you understand it. Empowerment, the word means, and when you have faith, so again, I was raised, again, I always say that because I'm building a community, so I never know. Thank you. This one, yeah, this one's protect the future. Actually, I should share with you all that. Where's my cards? Let's see if I can find it. Because I have tarot with me. Anybody love? I love tarot. When I was opened up to tarot, I was opened up because there was a friend of mine who's a star baby, and she made it sound completely like it's impossible to read. And I'm like, but wait a minute, you come from a special star. I felt your energy. It can't be that hard for you to learn to read tarot. What would my hi Siva? Sorry, Siva. Thank you, Siva. Hi, Siva. So, long story short, I grabbed I grabbed one deck of poker cards, and I learned numerology, and I learned the symbolism, and there you go. And I started to channel. And actually, you want to know, I am not from Italy. I am bicultural, Francisco. So I am born in America, but my mother's from Naples, Italy. And actually, I travel. And right now, I am in the nice area of Naples. So I'm enjoying it. Oh, that reminds me. If any of you people are here in the Naples, Campania region, okay, thank you. You're welcome. I will be doing a mindful mindset 2-day, thank you for the confirmation, Metro, retreat. No, it's a yoga retreat, yes. And they asked me if I wouldn't mind bringing the mindful mindset that I do as practices for a group. So it'll be a group setting. I forget the numbers. And then they will do yoga. I will come in after the yoga, and then together we'll do some of the mindful mindset. I haven't devised what I'm going to do with the group, and then the day after we'll do some tarot. And here is the tattoo. Praveen, look, isn't it beautiful? Protector of the future. So this is only one. I have other tattoos. No, actually, excuse me. There's double infinity. This is, yeah, I'd have to get up, show you, but I have. This one is because I do care. I go to dinner. Okay, have a nice dinner. Bye, Francisco. I will go to dinner in a half hour, an hour, 2 hours, I don't know. Well, yes. So protecting the future is important to me. And I do know that we don't need to protect it. It'll be okay because, you know, God has everything taken care of. But still, we're on planet, right? We want to do things together. And with that, that's why we're talking about wellness mindset, because wellness mindset is important, and you have wellness when you have an integrated brain. And when I do this, it's because the left mode and the right mode, they speak together. But the right mode is our emotional brain, but that's only if you are able to contain sensations, images, behaviors, affects, meanings. So if you know how to self-regulate, which is what I was talking about on TikTok, which is what I do with personal growth, spiritual growth, and personality development. So people who have answered so far questions on empowerment don't know what empowerment is, because my qualification is that, well, I have a master's degree in international relations and diplomacy. For personal growth, it's mentorship, consulting, and I have done courses that have given me a thorough background on attachment trauma education, and I'm finishing up mindfulness certificate, if that's what you're asking. I'm an Akashic record reader, self-taught, Reiki master, that is with the heritage of the person that gave me the mastery of Reiki. So I have a number of different types of qualifications. I support people for their, again, spiritual growth, personal growth. So it's one-to-one mentorship or through the content from my podcast for mindset. So exercises that you can integrate into your day-to-day life. And so I'm also an online marketer, which is where the content creation aspects comes from. And work, I don't know if you're asking what work, but I think I answered all of that stuff. And so as we continue with our conversation, thank you for the curiosities, the empowerment that people will see when you're looking at someone who's not truly empowered. They will be using a lot of words, and they will wear nice outfits, but they don't know how to consistently be loving, kind, and understanding. And also they seem to not understand there's no monster demons or Lucifers when it comes to those human beings who are unkind, mediocre, and a lot more. And so the individuals who think that, is there a risk of spiritual bypassing in modern enlightenment content? People use spirituality to avoid dealing with trauma or hard truths. This is rarely acknowledged in popular content. And I'm going to say no. People ignore that they wake up in the morning with a body that is tired, with inner and outer critic. I've met people in college who complained to me about feeling more lonely after fucking each other. And I said, don't do it. And I was only in my 20s. And I didn't have all the qualifications that I have now. Do you know what they did? Nothing. And they were getting a bachelor's degree. So it is not the enlightenment content that is creating, bypassing, or ignoring and avoiding dealing with trauma or hard truths. Is that people ignore that they wake up in a tired state. And in fact, there's plenty of people who go to channels that I see that are helpful, like Nutshell Therapy, Nutshell Lady, who shares how to work with a panic attack. I thank Nutshell Lady. She helped me to work through a number of them and gave me answers that nobody had given me before. So I know that we have a lot of good content on YouTube and on TikTok and on all the social media platforms from the smart experts. And then when it comes to those who are just chit-chatting away, I'm here to allow those who want true self-empowerment talks to know that spiritual mystics are not pretending to be happy. We know how to use our nervous system, which is why a spiritual master and or a spiritual influencer, thank you for confirmation, and or guru and or prophet and or enlightened one, any of those, I bring the human elements to spirituality, will be a person who has a body and connection, an integrated brain, and they will in fact know how to navigate life and want to navigate life, which is why the wellness mindset is at HP for the people who will want this, and therefore they will want real empowerment. Thank you for the hearts. You're amazing. Oh, I love the hearts. They make me smile. Hold on. I shared this one on TikTok. It was really wanted. So yes, this book, read it if you want it. Restorative Embodiment and Resilience. That is what every human being is capable of. You're so sweet. Siva, thank you for the love. I'm sending you hearts. I am very, very flattered. And don't make me blush. I'm trying to chit-chat about important things. So, a guide to disrupt habits, create inner peace, deepen relationships, and feel greater presence. The author is Alan Fogel, PhD. And the author of Body Sense, the foreword, I don't know who this is, but I'll read it, by Stuart G. Schenker. D. Phil. Okay, let me get another book for us, though. Hold on a minute. No, but go back, though. Hold on. Okay. So these are good books. If there's one thing that wellness mindset comes from, is not only the body and connection, but actually people. So here, dealing with trauma, you don't deal with it by yourself. You actually help yourself by going to a good therapist. And that's what I have found is the equation. And so while I asked ChatGPT all of it, I didn't need ChatGPT or AI as an online marketer and content creator, but I appreciate it. It does help my work. Not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of it because as a professional, I work with clients who care about what they do. Quality will always be something that any smart consumer will want. As for quantity, the idiot will go after it, and the masses have been built by the ignorant, mediocre, and conspiracy theory people who are adaptive child part, who are the ones who don't go to therapy. So they will say, I bypass stuff because I seem always positive, which I am, because that's how an intelligent mind works. Also, again, I know God, so I don't have a question. When it comes to bypassing from the perspective of mysticism, what I noticed is all the ones who do so, they call themselves divinity. Apparently, they seem to think that they are fulfilled as divine beings when, wait a minute, first of all, I'm not noticing your fulfillment as a human being in the restorative embodiment, because your anger and your self-righteous little frequency talking to me about mediocrity, ignorance, and evil stories, conspiracies alongside it, and then not noticing that you're getting buffooned by every single pseudo-intellectual out there. I may be pseudoscience, I ain't pseudo-intellectual. And then when it comes to spirit, source, and God, at the end of the day, when I move from God, Jesus, Holy Spirit to mysticism, it's very easy. All one big ball of energy, reincarnation. You will pay back whatever it is you will have done in the past. Also, you will have always been on both sides of the coin. The fact is that we don't describe the ones who have lower frequency as if, oh, let me flatter the person who has low frequency, because it's not a demon. No, it's a person who needs help. So when people are wanting to demonize my brothers and sisters, I have an issue with that, because they're playing God. Now they're playing source. You're not it. You embody a speck of it, and you don't even embody it if you don't actually achieve that which is the embodiment of your restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person. Wellness mindset equals a person who owns their body and connection, owns their sense of self, because you have an integrated brain, because you took care to go and handle the hard truths of the trauma from your own home with a therapist, and then you did better. Not coming to college while I'm going to college, having to witness morons tell me how I'm fucking and more lonely. Don't fuck, STDs, hello. And then to be able to see consistently other adolescents continue with the bullshit. So I'm going to leave cursing and all of it, and that's because why not? But also bullshit is where I see mediocre people with ignorance and conspiracies being supported and called intelligent because they think that because they want to break the system or go against this or go against that, that they're badass. And badass is when you know how you can be improving the system. I need to learn English from you. I understood your words. I don't able to speak. Okay, so the gist of it, what I'm saying, Siva, if I remember, let me scroll to make sure I remembered correctly. Yes, Siva. I'm saying that every person out there on our planet, all 8 billion people and growing, have the potential to be full of love here and full of smart, intelligent here. And to know that our species expands, evolves as we move forward in time. Technology not bad, people not bad, things that are not great happen, yes, the bad things that happen. But we are the people who make the change. We don't need to have superheroes and supervillains. We don't need stories, which is where I was looking for that other book. Let me find it so I can show it to you, of a neuroscientist who proves there's no demons inside our brothers and sisters. So people that want to still talk about Lucifer and demonic spirits, they make me mad, is what I'm trying to say, because they're saying bad things about people who only need one thing, help. They need a good therapist to go and get help. Here it is. The Cognitive Neuroscience of Religious Experience. The Centering and the Self. Patrick McNamara. It's right here. See? This is information that is good. And he does research on brains of mystics, shamans, and all, and has shared in interviews not only how the fear receptor in the brain, so our brain has a fear receptor, it goes wonky. Your brain always is trying to heal itself because your brain, your embodied brain, your biology is smart, which is why God always wins, because your biology is trying to lead you home to love, which is the body and connection. And that's why it's very upsetting, Siva, to me, raised by good Christian Catholic catechists, to hear people in cloaks talk about this decentralizing of the self as bad. No conspiracy theory, idiot, moron. What other words can I use? You don't understand how the biology, my cells, lead me to the kingdom of God, which is what Jesus said we hold. So when you hear liar, liar, pants on fire, it's because children of God or Source or Akash will know, all of our brothers and sisters, they have choice, yes. Choice to be better versions. Who teaches choice? Who? We do. Who's we? The grown-ups. The grown-ups that are emotionally mature will do that. The grown-ups who are not emotionally mature, there's plenty of them out there, and that's why they're not the way showers. A way shower. Can you hold this book up again? Yes, I can. Steve, are you talking? I think you're talking about Patrick McNamara. 1 second. Let me grab it. This one. Let me know, Steve, if this is the one that you were asking about, or if it was the other one, because I showed another book. That good enough? So it is a really good book. He has 2 interviews, by the way, by the Well or Big Think on YouTube. And in one, he talks about nightmares and how the brain and the fear receptor goes wonky and how people don't have to put up with the nightmares, but he explains exactly what's happening. I'm also attachment trauma educated, so I know all about the brain when it's not integrated, so I could follow his entire discourse. And then it's another interview. Can you? Yes. No, I already did that. And then he also, okay, welcome. Happy to support and help spread the word of good information. He's still doing his research. I actually, with a lot of excitement, reached out to him, but then I remembered, I'm sure a lot of mystics reach out to him and that I have nothing special to share except for another person with, experiences. Plus, they also look into consciousness and the sphere, the scientists are looking into it all, which is what is beautiful for me. So wellness, mindset, and those of us who are in the 5D collective, I call us future humans because we are actually bringing forth not only that which a human being can embody, this restored embodiment, we are also bringing forth daily lifestyle practices with not only, if you do yoga, great, that's ventral vagal portfolio of toning exercises. Mindfulness is consistently brought forth. So that's why I have a series for our paid content on the podcast that is on Spotify or any podcast you listen to, but there's a paid subscription area for using mindful mindset communication skills, which involves thought and feelings come up automatically. First feelings, then thought. So we're working with anger right now because anger is the one that most people, hi Elsa, let me know what you're thinking. I might be able to answer, but anger is the one that I've noticed. No, I'm not a dude. I'm a girl. But that's okay. I can be a dude too. I'm not picky about that. But I'm a woman with short hair. And so, as I was saying, wellness mindset, you're going to integrate your own self. One, if you own your sense of self, which means you don't enmesh, which is a technical term for when people don't own their sense of self, which I've seen grown-ups do. So when they support mediocrity, and they support conspiracies and evil stories. Thank you, Siva. They lack intelligence and self-mastery. And then I just remember all the teenagers I used to hang out with, and they were all not empowered. And then I grew up again. So the part about people using spirituality to avoid dealing with trauma, they also use labels. There's a Zen master who talks about there's no possibility for people to be enlightened because they have laundry. So he's saying he doesn't know how to cry. Have a good cry. When brain scientists explain to you how emotions last 90 seconds, but that's if you know how to use your prefrontal cortex, which is why Robert Sapolsky, he wrote a book. I haven't read it yet. And Steve, you might be interested in this one too. Let me share that with you because you might like reading. And that's a good thing. Love the reading. I mean, really, there's so many great books out there. It's not even funny. So Robert Sapolsky determined a science of life without free will. Let me get the book cover so that it can be completely visible. Need to remember how to get the book cover. No, not that one. This one. Yeah, no. Give me 1 minute. Not the notations. I don't have any notations. Okay. So as I got trauma informed just like the past 3-4 years and moving forward, and I can just tell you that it's enlightening. It makes me happy for our future. And here we go. If Steve, you're around and want, or anybody who wants to, he is very proud of the book he wrote. As he says, he's proven that we have no free will. But obviously his colleagues are like, you only given us one. There's only one opinion hypotheses. Then existential physics, that's a good one too, actually, for any of you who want to hear about how Sabine Hossenfelder, and she's on YouTube, shares answers of all our existential questions, life's biggest questions, a scientist's guide, so with quantum physics, which is why, again, it's a really nice time for us, because science and spirituality, any wise one, enlightened, spiritual, and or science will know of the history of our ancestors, which is that science and spirituality had already come together. Realistically, wayshowers, you're welcome, Steve. I'm very happy to have supported that. Wayshower, so here's another way that they've defined wayshower: a part of the New Age spiritual lexicon to help describe a specific experience that many people are living in and throughout at this moment. A wayshower is one who embodies the qualities that he, she, or they wishes others to absorb, so that the light, I love these words, I will explain humanly speaking in a minute. The light doesn't mean anything to a person who understands grounded in reality talk, which is why I bring the human elements to the spiritual ones. Oh, look, I got light. Oh, wait, my light's going out. I need light. Let me go turn the light on. I might have to do that in a minute, though. So that the light that they carry can become the consciousness of all. Okay, so number 1, wellness mindset. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. Follow, there's more. You can go watch episodes from yesterday, today. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. I enjoy the lives. I get to interact, YouTube, TikTok, and meet awesome people. I swear. Anytime I think of the ones who are thinking they know what they're talking about in certain ways, I'm like, yeah, you obviously don't know just yet. If you did, you'd be a little bit more chirpy about where we're headed, because humans consistently evolve in that which is our best version. Unfortunately, like Robert Sapolsky's book points out, again, this is why I will continue with, if someone supports mediocrity, ignorance, conspiracy, and demon stories, they can go somewhere else. Because the spiritual bypassers are the ones who don't think enlightenment can be true, and the ones who are pretending to be enlightened with their self-righteous frequency and actually telling you, without my subliminal messages, you can't achieve connected. TikTok, yeah. It's okay, Siva, I'm still on YouTube, and I might have the same issue with TikTok in America. So I'm not putting all my eggs in the basket, but I can say I enjoy both YouTube lives and TikTok lives, and they're of a different energetic frequency because there's a different community. They're both beautiful in equal ways. And so, it's unfortunate. So see right here, this is what also makes me upset, is that I studied, my bachelor's is in political science and my master's is in international relations and diplomacy. I choose consciously to not speak of politics for a reason, which I mentioned in today's episodes, one of them. And then yesterday I mentioned how just because in Christian Catholicism we have individuals who are stupid enough to to believe that yoga brings demons out of you, versus go and get taught by Peter Levine that trauma charges are stored in muscles, bones, and tissues, and how your brain works, and maybe you'll figure out that you're actually not a better Christian Catholic because you believe stories, and while insulting an entire heritage, might I add. And so when you meet anyone who is representing a word in a way that is mediocre, why would I leave my faith when I was raised with good Christian Catholic upbringing, catechists who didn't give me any lies? Okay, so I have chosen with a lot of consistent thought of how to bring conversations that I don't see being talked about from actually empowered people. Empowered people don't take a side. I don't have a side. I got the side of intelligence. I got the side of common sense. I got the side of, thank you, Sam Harris. I'm grounded in reality. Any of my cherishable beliefs can be falsifiable. Just because there's science out there don't mean it dispels and disproves God. Whoever created that? No one. You know how the brain works? The left brain doesn't like when the right and the left and the right don't work together unless you're mindfully aware and allow them to. Mine work always together. So my default mode network is downregulated. Maria's body is in connection, which is why I'm not buffooned by the left that doesn't like that science and spirituality touch. And the story that I was sharing on TikTok, which I've shared on YouTube before, this dude randomly interjects while I'm having a conversation with a friend on personal growth, spiritual growth, the mystic stuff, because there's always ascension energies. And he says, excuse me, you're confusing science and spirituality. I turn around and I say, no, I bring them together. I say to him, I'm a podcast host, I'm a mystic, I'm a Reiki master, and I am a mindfulness practitioner. No, I'm a Reiki master and mystic too. That is called the adaptive child part. They just interrupted for the second time to tell me they're right. Terry Real talks about it as a losing strategy. As I was explaining on TikTok, I'm like that. I was having fun with it because I've learned how to handle ego of morons since I was a teenager. That's what it sounds like to me. I know what I'm doing, and there's a difference between people who are empowered versus those who are not. Empowered people come in with curiosity. Wow, mystic? Wow, what's going on here? I'm curious. Polyamory. Wow, really? That's interesting. Instead, here's what happens when you meet an ignorant one. But you're all masochists. Not the healthy self-worth ones, securely attached people, not the ones of us who know who we are, but that's hard to do. Okay, how do you answer a person who's insecure, who just told you healthy self-worth is hard to do? You don't say anything because that would be rude, but also you're not going to teach someone. People use spirituality, no, to avoid noticing trauma in themselves. A minute isn't enough to be saluted. This is another story. I don't know if I already mentioned it at the beginning. A human being who I consistently did not make friends with, not because I'm a stranger to them. And we frequent the same place. And I got this on an evening where they're drunk because they got rejected. And they're all mopey. And it's called desperate manipulation. Thank you, Terry Real, for the shame in the unhealthy self-worth. His little box of shame, grandiosity on anxious over here, and over here he has avoidant, and he's got grandiosity and shame. I'm in the middle with the healthy self-worth. How do I handle this? It's not about decency. You said hi to him and him and him and her, and I was like, yeah, yes, and then you didn't say hi to me. I was like, okay. So in Italy, any of you who don't know, we say hi with the kisses. So I say hi to the person. It's called I self-regulated Maria. I'm not sensitive to the point. He didn't offend me. I've known this dude's just leave it alone, and he's not my friend, but now I'm there. My friends are there. So the grown-up does this, and I'm 45 years of age. I'm just saying, this guy's 50. He's got a wife. Nobody knows. We never met her. He's an established poet, apparently. Wow. And in an evening, I get to deal with that. So I say hello. I chit-chat with my friends. And then I'm like, I'm moving away. I'm going to go to the behind the bar because this is a place I frequent. So I was allowed. And as I'm going behind the bar, he decides to pick. Yes, I am 45. Yes, Siva, that's correct. I go behind the bar because I'm going to hang out with the bartenders or whoever's there. And he points me out. Oh, you move away. I'm like, yes, I'm safer here. Yes. And I'm, teasing. I'm just trying to have a good evening. I don't want to go home. So the end of the evening, thank you, Siva. That's good to know. I'm aging really great. So he gets a hug because he's moping and whining the evening. And then at the end of the evening, though, he does this thing. And I've shared this story many times, but it is going to be one of my famous ones because not only does it make everyone laugh, but the way I handled him, I'm proud of, because I wasn't going to handle him in a way of shaming him or being insulting. I did what I can say I am proud of. And he didn't learn anything from it. Because adaptive child part people, so no, it's not spirituality and enlightenment. Avoid dealing with trauma or hard truths. Some human beings endorse their emotionally immature behavior. I didn't get, wow, great job, Maria. Self-worth empowered woman. No, I got, you're too serious. You could have gotten in his face. Did you say it right? The men, because I hug. I'm a hugger. I said, look, I gave him the cold shoulder. I was a bitch. I actually did the bitch thing. That way I didn't give him mixed messages. Is that good? No, I'm not going to be letting him get away with it and be less serious. No, I don't need to get in his face and do what is bad manners. I'm not going to use my hands. I don't support mediocrity. I don't support inconsistencies, evil stories, bullshit conspiracies, any of that stereotype, superficial behavior. I support integrity. And so self-regulating, body connected, this person begins to say, and we'll become friends. And I say, no, we won't. My body begins to move with what I already know. We'll become friends. No, we won't. We will frequent the same place. Yes, we will. We will talk. No, we won't. We will see each other. Yes, we will. And that is all. And he's like, oh, see, you put up barriers. Nope, I'm just telling you how it is. And I look at my girlfriend and my guy friend, and they're both there. And as we're leaving, I'm like, I'm going home. So I go home. The next time that I see this human being, with a friend of mine, I had to at least look at them in the eyes. But I reiterated my statement, which is, I'm not saluting you. You're not my friend. I never made friends with you. I never did anything. And I don't have shame or guilt or that I should do anything differently. So it is, She left you for another person, Siva? Is that what, am I understanding? Yeah, no, that's, if she made a choice, I don't think there's anything that you can do for, yeah, okay. So if she is choosing, does she want to or does she have to? Does she want to marry him or does she have to because of family? Like it's an obligation. Well, one, obviously, I don't think even, let's say if she wants to, then if you love her, you be happy for her, and wellness mindset, you would process in time the emotion. And what you would want to do is take care of yourself, be healthy, be with people that love you, invest in your education, invest in your life, invest in your career, and take the time that it will take for you to actually be able to be okay. There's a study that shows it takes about 4.5 years to 8 years for us to be able to, in our brain, the way our embodied brain works, to actually process heartbreak when we get broken up with, okay? And we all will have had that, Siva. I got broken up with my teenage boyfriend when I was 19. So you will be able to, yes, that's, you're 26, you have plenty of time. It's your good age. I'm 45. I still have so many things I have not accomplished yet. So you ignored all. It's okay. Now that you learned. Don't ignore all for another person. So you get to remember balance. Balance is key. So you know, that's the mindset right here, wellness mindset. You can allow yourself to be very angry, or you can allow yourself to know, okay, I will learn not to put myself to the side. And you don't ignore if anger comes up, though, which is why all the emotions, anger, sadness, what comes up, find 5 things you can do. 1, the way you contemplate it. Neutrality is the land of truth, because neutrality allows you to say, I'm unhappy, but I know that I have to accept. So I process the emotion. You want to allow yourself to have a chit chat, not a, because trauma doesn't get healed when you are using your temporal junction. So when you're ruminating is the word. And rumination means that you're just thinking the same thoughts over and over and over again. You don't want to do that. So you want to contemplate the thoughts and the emotions, then use positive, happy music. Music is important to get your frequency up. So do that, and activities, not drinking or any drugs. No activities like walking or running or swimming. And the people that are your friends that love you and family, and start doing the things you ignored. Go and invest yourself in time. And for her, just you take time. It takes time. Don't rush it. I had a friend of mine that, how old were we? I forget, maybe around your age when it was, yeah. And just be patient with it. And let all of it come out organically. But my friend, he was, I think, around the same age, 26. Yeah. Was it his first? Anyways, I think it was 26-ish, but his girlfriend, he was 14 years, like long time, not even 3 years, no, 14, like since he was a teenager till his 21st very serious relationship, she broke up with him. And he completely was devastated, not going out. And I got him to come out. And then he got into another relationship. And he was also here in a bad relationship. Eventually, that led him to another breakup. And luckily, though, he was able to invest in his job eventually. So the second time, because see, this is a friend of mine that I didn't talk to for a whole 5 years. But it's too long of a story. And as the light goes down, I want to not have to get up and move around. But the second time he came around, he didn't have money. And so luckily, the only friend he had was me. And okay, cool. Okay, Praveen, are you giving me permission to get up? You're so nice, Praveen. You want to hear the story, don't you? Okay, you know what? Here, I'll bring you with me. That way I don't feel that odd. I love it. You guys are so awesome. This is what I love about lives. I get to interact with you. Here we go. Way better. That way I don't lose you too much. And here I have a nice light. Okay, wait. Let me do it this way. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll leave it like that for now. So the friend of mine that I'm talking about, we've been friends since I was a teenager, and this second relationship was just as devastating, if not worse. It was a 4-year relationship, and it was where he lost his business. He was a successful entrepreneur, lost his business because of it not going well. And the woman just, without even giving him an answer, she just said, that's not true. They had a fight. They had a bit of a fight, and then she just took advantage of it. And they had just finishing booking the restaurant, the church. In Italy, it works where you, in advance, a year ahead, I don't know in America, but a year ahead, you're going to get everything reserved and the priest and all of that. So he's bankrupt. He has no friends. His only friend was a friend that I know of when he was broken up the first time around. Siva, this is for you to help you understand. Everyone can go through it. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. This is my laugh of things happen in life. No, not yet, Praveen. I'll be having dinner probably in a little bit. I'll have to head on off from here. It's 8 p.m. here. So, hi, Clove. So, Maria. Even though you can call me inspiring human potential, what I heard you saying about the bar situation is you were showing your sovereignty, clear empathic boundaries. Thank you, Steve. Yes. And actually, going back to that one, so yes, Steve, I'm very happy. I can say also proud. Like, I didn't want to treat him any differently. And when I saw him the next time around, where I didn't say hello, I reconfirmed I'm not your friend. And I looked at him to allow, yes, I believe in God. I actually am co-author of a book, God is Discerning Equanimous Love. That's exactly how I know God to be, Jesus, Holy Spirit. As a mystic, I am expanded to beyond, so not welcome by all of those who come from my upbringing, Christian Catholic, but yes, God is always, I'm in communion, is how I'm going to share it with you, which is why I'm talking about sharing with all how enlightenment is not something that requires anybody to get bypassed. I said Maria, Praveen, Maria, M-A-R-I-A. That our brothers and sisters, all people, can become the version of themselves that is healthy. As Steve and I were talking about sharing sovereignty and yes, empathic boundaries, that's beautiful words. But so when people don't have healthy self-worth, you can't teach it to them. So I get to encounter him. He's near a friend of mine. I acknowledge him because a very bare minimum after him using you. Am I not decent enough to be saluted from his mouth? But I'm not going to say hi to you because what you did was completely unnecessary. Not to mention that if someone were to learn, let me mature myself, the interaction would have been, I'm so sorry for having done that, which was not, at least you looked at me, was what came out of his mouth. So, wellness, mindset, 5D mystic, spiritual, right here, mentor, content creator, podcast host, but I'm a person. I'm simply put a healthy, self-worth, restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person. Science explains what I am. Mysticism allows me to support people who are, in my book, true mystics, true spiritual, They know God as discerning equanimous love, clove, and they understand that we are not here to play our ancestors, number one, but they can only understand this if they have an integrated brain with a body that is in connection, which means that they are navigating what is love. If you have not empathic boundaries, sovereignty, as Steve pointed out with his lovely words, and that means healthy self-worth, and to be proud of being able to stand in front of a person. Again, that word even sounds egoic to me personally, but I know why, because I don't think that I did anything special. I did what actually is Holy Spirit, Source, Akash, enlightenment. I did what is purely what even a somatic therapist like Peter Levine, well, I don't think he calls himself that, but a Peter Levine, Dr. Daniel Siegel, Stephen Porges, Bezel van der Kolk, a bunch of people that they will talk about human beings even in more compassion than I have. They have humbled a person who is very straightforward. God gives you two choices. You do kind, you do unkind, you did your own shit. I'm, again, aware you reincarnate. You continue to close out your karma cycle. Not a good, not a bad thing. You'll keep coming back until you figure it out. If people want to navigate their self-righteous low frequency, that's not sovereignty. That's the same people who think that I'm using enlightenment as a spiritual bypassing because they don't know how to be happy inside, because they don't know their ventral energy. Well, I know they're ignoring dealing with trauma and the hard truth, which is that they don't want to go because that's how freaking scary it is for their body. No, this is the part. It's well, this, let me calm them. Peter Levine explains it. Imagine a bird with a broken wing, and he, the bird, or she or they, will go towards the cave with the cat versus come towards the person who says, I can help you. Imagine a person, Dr. Daniel Fox has shared, who has abandonment and borderline personality disorder, and they will doubt a person who is kind the minute that they encounter them versus a person who's unkind. Imagine that same person treating a partner like a battlefield. Imagine that same person doubting a person who is neutral, no, misunderstanding, misinterpreting it for dangerous. Therefore, when science explains to you what every human being who is tortured inside is going through, I have nothing to say to the people who want to tell me that they think they know God while demonizing my brothers and sisters who are not demons. They're mediocre, they're ignorant, they're non-bilaterally integrated, they have attachment wounds, they are emotionally mature, they need a therapist, and they want to say that I don't exist, that I'm a bypasser because I know how to be in the wellness industry. Yeah, so why does the wellness industry often ignore systemic and cultural trauma in favor of positive vibes only? We don't ignore. Systemic and cultural trauma, one, get healed by us changing the system, which doesn't happen when you're yelling at each other, happens when you're working within the system. And then the same word, empathic boundaries, sovereignty, as an empowered, intelligent mind, not a mediocre one who's just calling each other names based on what religious group you're from or political group or da-da-da. So when I see any kind of lack of intelligence, I completely have no interest in engaging with it. And again, like that person, their ears are flopped down. Stephen Porges explains it. Biologically rude people are protecting themselves because they are in a body that's not safe. In fact, I actually had my notes somewhere. Let's see if I have them available to read to you all, because I know that some of you are not usual listeners, so you won't have heard all of these, although I will repeat in my episodes data points. I will also fuck it up and forget it, and I will confuse it sometimes because there's a lot of information. But if you reach out to me or write me questions and I can go look at them, I can always try to get my courses and find my notes and stuff. So happy to share it. Here's Dr. Stephen Porges. Biological rudeness, no acknowledgement of your feelings, that you are there, no sense of awareness of reciprocity. God is not helping you, Clove. Oh, wow, Siva, 11:38 p.m. Okay, well, we'll be going soon. Clove, I don't know, where is God not helping you? I can share with you my 2 cents, my food for thought. Stephen Porges continued, so it's not intentional to hurt, it's out of reaction. And when a nervous system is in constant state of defensiveness, control is a warm blanket because they have difficulty dealing with uncertainty. So Stephen, or Steve, I don't know, I think it's Steve B., you might be interested in this type of information. Stephen Porges is polyvagal theory doctor, and he's explaining about how a person's nervous system works, and it's not pathology. They literally, the first 3 years of life of a person is all implicit memory. Then there's also Dr. Amy Apigian, who talks about neuroception. She's really awesome, and she explains how a body, even after years of therapy, can still be looking to work with the survival mode, which makes sense to me, because if I wasn't safe in my home, your body doesn't learn, okay, cool, your body doesn't learn to self-regulate. So at the end of the day, wellness mindset is for people who are ready for it. It then supports us to be people who can stand with others and bring in the ventral energy, remind bodies of what they're capable of. God brings us together with people so that we can become sovereign, empathic, and then right here, not play God, not be self-righteous, but instead be the enlightened ones, spiritual masters, anyone who wants to say that they are in communion with God, source, Akash, Anima Mundi. If they're wise, then you will hear of them speak with equanimity, discernment, love, compassion. They will know science marries with spirituality because they will not have an issue. The left mode doesn't like when A and B touch each other and will say, oh, if science is true, then spirituality is false. We are in Kali Yuga. I don't know where Kali Yuga is. Oh, I don't know what's happening, Clove. If something is happening, I'm not well aware of the media. Just so you know, I'm ignorant when it comes to. So if you want to share with me what's happening, in the meantime, I'll share prayers. That's for sure. And I am sorry if there's stuff going on where you are at, because I know that we have a lot of things happening in the world. As a mystic, what I can share, not that this helps any of suffering that happens, this is a part of where I can't help. I would love to. I can pray, yes, and do my best to participate in politics and all of that, like voting. But soul age groups, we talked about that in one of our lives. We have soul age groups for not only people, but also countries. And when it comes to zeroing out karma, so charges, which is where I'm not going to be able to go in depth on this too much, plus it's spiritual chit-chat. This is why I'll take science any day that will bring us tangible aspects that we can, humanly speaking, work on versus using something that obviously can give those of us of spirit and mysticism a way to interact, which is why I do know of it, and that makes sense to a person who is in the mysticism. And as an Akashic record reader, I've seen a number of my past lives, a number of future lives, well, at least one for sure, if there's more, but in my future life, I've seen also more of it. And then I've done readings for other people. So the part about closing out cycles is something that has its journey. So spirit people meet each other for a reason to expand, become, as Steve and I have been interacting with that, and also you, Siva, so you get to expand. You choose growth, spiritual growth, personal growth. You choose not to become bitter and resentful, but you do understand that there's a process, and that rage or anger, when used effectively, meaning in a healthy way, you release it, you share it. You obviously don't say, oh, yay, how wonderful, I'm going through shit. No, but you don't also have to make it sound like. And so the sound frequency is how we will actually come together. I know that with me, those who come together are those who will want to navigate a lighter frequency. That's the 5D and beyond plane, which is a body and connection. And that's why the wellness mindset lifestyle is really great and is attractive to those who will want to have the depth of the emotional experience, and they're not afraid of the body of their own. Doesn't mean that it's that straightforward. When it comes to places, so again, I don't know, Clove, exactly what, but again, I am immediately sharing prayers and support, and I am going to say that I hope all, and actually I know all will work out, but whatever rebalancing is taking place, things dismantle so they can improve. And then I, again, say it's not to give a justification. It's an explanation. It's not a place, it's a timeline. Okay, thank you, Chloe, for that one. Okay, well, you can expand on that, or I can look it up. You know what? Maybe I'll look it up, and then I can do another live and talk about that one. So that would be better. Let me take a picture of this so that I can, because I have to go. They actually just wrote me for dinner time. Who was asking me about dinner? But I will look into it, clove, and then what I'll do is I'll do a YouTube live, and I'll put the Kali Yuga, and if you want, I can also put your name in the title, and then I can come back and we can chit chat about it. Knowing others are on their path, not right or wrong, is true forgiveness. Yes, Steve, yes. Well, and this is the part of where it's not, what makes me sad is when people aren't healing, but then I remind myself not to be sad because that's their choice. It's disrespectful to be sad. Also, I can understand the journey of a person, meaning the explanation from attachment trauma educators. I can't help someone love themselves first. So you are helpless in the face of helping somebody love themselves, but that's not I can't make them love themselves. I'll never forget the first 2 years of attachment trauma education. I'd leave those classrooms crying, and then I'm like, I'm healthy self-worth, I'm empowered, I need to not walk around. I'm going to be a trigger for every one of those attachment wounds, because our nervous systems, they co-regulate, and the way that the attachment trauma educators inform me is that when we're looking each other's eyes, that we will activate everything. And so it's like, okay, I have had the honor of meeting a number of people, one of which she and I have an amazing bond, and when we interact, there's things that come up for her. And the last time that happened, I said, is it okay? Because I know of her story, so I know that it's deep stuff and it's at the level of the heart. And she's like, no, it's fine, it's fine. So I made sure that I was not triggering anything bad, meaning sad or upsetting. But yeah, it is definitely forgiveness. Dr. Daniel Siegel, Steve, I don't know if you know him. Today pains, tomorrow gains. Yes, and your brain, it's an embodied brain. And therefore, when you're putting wellness mindset into practice, that's the part of why enlightenment is a real thing. Spiritual bypassers are, for me, all of the ones who don't mature emotionally, so they don't use their prefrontal cortex. I have upset stuff that comes up. I don't endorse my bad behavior, like I'm not doing enough, the insecurity, but instead I look at, one, how do I wake up? Am I energized? Am I not? And then I take modern day therapy, important information, go and get myself on a journey to get the body in connection. That's for the people who need that. Once that happens with wellness mindset, mystic, spiritual, or just mindful, you continue to do that, because like this is, okay, a timeline, Kali Yuga, but we have our lovely Siva who was sharing his story. Steve, I don't know if you went to sleep, but he has a breakup that he's handling right now. And like my friend, he handled it. He got better eventually, but that's that part of where you create the resiliency. So we can feel more wellness because we have good stress. When you're using the integrated brain, it's bilateral vertical, and that's where good stress, as Dr. Daniel Siegel has called it. And so whether mystic, spiritual, or mindful, you're going to be able to be more energized, because that's what integration of brain and body, that is restorative embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating. Again, I think I showed the book, but just in case I didn't, or Steve didn't get a hold of that one, in case you're curious, Steve. I think you saw it, but where are you? Restorative embodiment and resiliency, this one. So this one is someone, I haven't read it yet, but that's the one. And so once you're using your ventral vagal state, once you're using wellness mindset, that's why the paid content that I do, I know who will use it. It's all people who are enjoying their life. I have a bunch of more books, anyone's curious. So there's people who can be hooked on drama. This one is lovely, of Dr. Daniel Siegel, which actually I have to finish reading to integrate it in my mindfulness practices for the mentorees and the paid content, but also the mindfulness practices, because personality and wholeness in therapy, the PDP framework, I find that it works better than the Enneagram, if you know the personality Enneagram. And I'll explain more you're welcome, in another live. We'll do another live. I'll try to remember to share. Yeah, I'll write some notes down. Is the PDF available? Of what? Which one? You're welcome, Steve. Which one, Clove, before I go? Which one PDF? The Restored Embodiment? Yes, Kindle. Yes, this is all on Kindle. All these are different books. So you can order them PDF for free? No, because it's a book, I had to purchase it. But yes, we will be back with more, and I talk about these topics because, again, my focus is spiritual growth, personal development, and personal growth as a mystic. I do integrate it all. Woo-woo pseudoscience is fine with me, but science proves what God had already told me, and Jesus and the Holy Spirit when I was growing up with my catechists, and that is that people, my brothers and sisters, where's my lovely little angel? I have an angel here. They're all angels. I will go. I'm going to go now. But they are all angels. And the ones who don't want to do it this lifetime, it's okay. They have next lifetime and more. So thank you all for stopping by. It was a great pleasure. I am going to go eat. You're right, Steve. They are calling me. So ciao, ciao for now.